Nathan Bomey for USA Today. We're here at the 2019 Detroit Auto Show, also known as North American International Auto Show, where press begun and automakers are revealing new vehicles. Here we're starting at the Toyota stand with the all-new 2020 Toyota Supra. This is a brand new sports car, but it's actually not altogether new because it comes back to us from the 80s and 90s when the Supra was originally in the United States. It actually dates back earlier than that, but was a dedicated sports car in the 1980s. So we are here now at the Detroit Auto Show, and we want to take your questions. So as we go through this YouTube Live, feel free to send in your questions and ask us what you're most interested, or tell us what you're most interested in. Ask us the questions that you have, and we'll see if we can answer them. But the all-new Toyota Supra is really a favorite of the CEO of Toyota, Akio Toyoda. He loves this vehicle, and actually this is a car that he personally ordered them to revive and has a big enthusiast following. There are many people who have been calling for this vehicle to come back for quite some time. The Toyota Supra actually was featured in the Fast and Furious film franchise, and so a lot of people recognize it from that. That certainly helped build the buzz in recent years. You can see at the Detroit Auto Show, it's pretty common for media to go up to the vehicles and open the doors, peek inside, peek underneath the vehicle, and shoot photos, shoot video. It's a really cool event to cover, and I always enjoy being here. But the Supra is one of the stars of this show, perhaps the star of the show. It's already trending on Twitter. And so this is a vehicle that is going to be a hit. With the enthusiasts. The only question is there enough volume of sales to actually reach an audience here? This is a two-seat vehicle. And we're going to go ahead and check the interior of this car because not much space, but I don't think space is what you're looking for if you buy the Supra. Check out the interior. You can see, I believe the vehicle has more than 300 horsepower. I don't have the details here inside, but two people can comfortably get in there. No one in the back seat, but it's not exactly a family vehicle. So the Supra has some serious power, a little growl to it. It was a pretty cool reveal today at the press conference when they flashed a video, showed the Supra in the making. It's been years since they started designing this, bringing it back from the grave. The Supra is a pretty cool car. So check us out here. We're going to check out a lot of different reveals on the floor, and feel free to send in any questions you might have as we go through. Let's check out the red Toyota Supra here over at this Toyota stand at the Detroit Auto Show. This is the 2019 Detroit Auto Show, and it's the Supra is a hit. In fact, they brought out a race car driver to boast about the vehicle's speed. 0 to 60 in, I believe, 4.4 seconds. I'll quote that, but that's about right. That looks pretty great right there. The shine just pops, and you can tell that this is a brand new vehicle. The 2020 Toyota Supra here at the North American International Auto Show at Cobo Center in downtown Detroit. And that's a pretty cool shot right there, where you can see how low this vehicle rides to the ground. It doesn't take up much space. Might look a little bit bigger on your screen than it actually is. The reality is the Supra has a big loyalist following. So, does Dodge have any new cars on display? We got one of our first questions here. No new Dodge vehicles at the show this year. And we're going to head over to the Lexus stand now. But no new Dodge vehicles this year. But the Dodge Challenger can and so Dodge is actually come up with a pretty good 2018 and looking to follow up in a pretty strong 29 new Dodge vehicles this year. So as we head over to the Lexus stand, we're going to see the Lexus RCF vehicle. It's a track-friendly vehicle. Lexus is, of course, the luxury brand also made by Toyota. And, Akio of Toyota loves the track-friendly vehicles, and he is considered a, quote, master driver. He is a driver who he is actually capable of driving on some of the world's leading racetracks. Here actually is the first ever Lexus UX crossover. It's almost like a wagon of sorts. shows you how it's hard to define some of these vehicles. It almost looks like a wagon, but it technically is a crossover. That's the Lexus UX crossover here at the Detroit Auto Show. But let's see if we can go find the Lexus RC F. The Lexus stand is pretty spacious here. They got a lot of space here at the show. So let's continue to shoot here. We're gonna pop over, change our connection here. It's a pretty slick stand, and Lexus is still got a lot of cars though, and so the SUVs are where the luxury buyers are now. And that's why we just saw the Lexus UX crossover. You can see there a vehicle that has not yet been unveiled, and that's pretty interesting to see that wrap over there. But if we look over here at this red luxury Lexus, that is pretty nice right there. We can't go up on the stand here, but we can get a pretty nice view of this luxury Lexus vehicle. I believe this is the RC. We're going to get a confirmation as it comes around. I'm sorry, this is the LC, actually. This is the Lexus LC. Sometimes it's tough with all the alphabet soup going around. That is pretty cool there as it moves around. Lexus LC. Again, this is probably not a high volume vehicle, but certainly going to establish the Lexus brand as a true luxury winner for its fans. Let's go over to Kia and see the new Kia Telluride. This is a SUV that is actually specializes in the Kia Telluride is actually similar to Palisade because Kia and Hyundai are in the same company and they both have an auto show. I'm Nathan Bomey for USA Today. We are going to continue as we look at the Kia large vehicle. You can kind of see the waterfall vibe that they got going here. And the Telluride, I suppose, is intended to send us vibes that it's an outdoorsy type of vehicle, although it's more of a family vehicle, to be honest. So I'm not sure how many waterfalls are going to be involved in the Telluride's travails, but it does look pretty nice. The Telluride is, I believe, a 3-row SUV. And I do kind of like this stand. This is pretty neat. Kia is really trying to get back into the game here because they have been struggling mightily. Too many passenger cars, not enough SUVs. The Kia Telluride here at the Detroit Auto Show. It is pretty big when you walk up to it. You see the 3 rows, and we'll check out the interior in a second as well. But this is exactly what Americans are buying right now. This is SUVs, the SUV revolution on full display here at the Kia stand. You're not used to seeing Kia with a big vehicle like this, but that's exactly what it is. Yeah, we check out the interior here of the Telluride. Yeah, that infotainment screen there definitely takes up quite a lot of space. That's pretty interesting to see. That's not typical for the Korean automakers. They are going bigger with the infotainment screens. If I'm not mistaken, this vehicle has quite a lot of USB connections and connectivity basically for the kids because they believe that this is going to be a family vehicle. This is the kind of vehicle that's sort of taking the place of minivans for a lot of people. Buy a large SUV instead of a minivan. This is the Kia Telluride here at the Detroit Auto Show. I'm Nathan Bomey for USA Today, and we're glad you're joining us. If you have any questions, send them in. And you can see the back seat there, the fold-down seats. I believe those are power fold-down seats, if I'm not mistaken. And so don't have to put much effort to put the seats down and take a trip, perhaps to a waterfall, which is what they feature here at the exhibit. Plenty of space on this interior. This is an 8-seater, so you fit 6 people in the second and third rows. I'm sorry, five people. So actually, it's a 7-seater. My mistake. Okay, we're going to head over to Infiniti and see what is happening at Infiniti, where they have the QX Inspiration, which is an SUV concept. There actually aren't that many concept vehicles at the Detroit Auto Show this year, the more production-ready vehicles. But you can... Well, over at Nissan and Infiniti, we have... we're going to head to Nissan in a minute. But Nissan and Infiniti are actually the same company, believe it or not. And Nissan has a new electric vehicle concept. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. And Infiniti did something similar, the QX Inspiration. And I believe we're going to see that over here at the Infiniti stand at the Detroit Auto Show. And we're looking for it. It is looking like it is not up there. They're probably getting it ready to hit to hit its actual stand. But Infiniti and the EV, we'll go over to Nissan and check out its cousin here, because the Nissan electric vehicle concept is pretty similar to what Infiniti has done. Nissan is fans by showing that it's an EV brand. The show opens, the show floor opens to the public this Saturday, after a few days of press previews and actually a couple days for industry executives to come and check out the vehicles, and then a charity preview event on Friday. And then the public can attend for just over a week, and it's at the Cobo Center here in downtown Detroit. This is actually, believe it or not, the final Detroit Auto Show in January. The auto show has been in January since it started, but is actually moving to June in 2020. So there'll be about a 17-month gap between the two, and it's going to be spring and summertime instead of the wintry weather here in Detroit, although believe it or not, it's clear skies here today in downtown Detroit. We're going to go see now the Nissan IMS. This is a concept vehicle, and it's an electric car. It's right there on the stand next to the Nissan Leaf, which is, of course, the electric car that Nissan introduced about a decade ago. They've made a lot of progress with it, but Nissan wants to go further with electric cars. So there in front of us is the Nissan Leaf Plus, I believe that is. That's the new one with longer range, over 200 miles of range there with the Nissan Leaf Plus. And that is going to be sold at U.S. dealerships within a few months. The Nissan Leaf is an electric car, and I believe the starting price is likely to be somewhere in the low 30,000s. So you'll be able to get, I believe, 220 miles of range on the battery charge before you need to recharge the battery. So that's a big step up, because Nissan before only had about 150 miles of range, and now they've got about 220 or 230, depending on the conditions around you. So now we're going to go see perhaps the future of electric cars at Nissan. This is the Nissan IMS electric concept vehicle. And we can go up here under the stand next to this vehicle. This is pretty slick right here. This is the kind of concept vehicle that you're used to seeing at the Detroit Auto Show. The future on display. And that is pretty cool design. Now, a concept car is not usually intended to show you what will they'll actually make, but it's designed to give you a sense for what they might make, the kind of design and engineering that they're aiming for. It's usually not very practical. You can see there are no door handles, for example, on this door. But this is a pretty cool vehicle. The IMS Nissan electric vehicle concept here at the Detroit Auto Show. And the media like this car. And of course, I cannot recall the term for those types of doors where the two doors open sort of in an alternative fashion there. I don't know if we'll see doors like that in a production vehicle, but you never know. The Lincoln Continental is doing doors like this, actually in a limited edition version sometime soon, but not typical. Let's go just see the interior real quick if we can just duck in. That is pretty neat in there. You can see on the instrument panel right above the steering wheel, it's got some sort of electric screen that's sort of showing I guess that maybe is a speedometer of sorts. I'm not sure. I'm going to doubt that they intend to make it like that, but you never know. You never know what Nissan is aiming for, because electric cars are intended to remake the modern mobility experience. Now here you can see that we see those types of, we can't open this door, but we can look through the window, and we see these types of steering wheels on these futuristic cars, like it's an alternative form of steering wheel that kind of pops out in an autonomous fashion. So maybe you can drive this vehicle if you need to, but otherwise probably in most situations it drives itself, would be my guess. Again, not capable of doing that right now, but the vision is to be able to do that at some point in the future. All right, we're going to leave the Nissan exhibit here, and we're going to head and see what else we can see at the Detroit Auto Show. This is the 2019 North American International Auto Show. We're glad you can join us here on YouTube, and we'd love to have any questions, field any questions, inquiries you might have about what's at the show this year. We've seen the Toyota Supra. Check that out earlier in this video. We are going to go down now and see if we can find, we're going to end up at the Ford Shelby GT500. That's the Mustang, the most powerful Mustang ever. Check that engine out. That's, I believe this is a controversial vehicle, believe it or not. This is a vehicle that looks like a Jeep, but is not a Jeep. And that's controversial. As you can imagine, Mahindra, I believe, is a Indian automaker, and that vehicle being on the show floor is a bit controversial. You can definitely see the resemblances. We're going to pass up the Mahindra there. We can see the Subaru press conference on our left. You can probably hear that thumping music. Subaru's just about to get started. It looks like they have a WRX set up there, an old one. The Subaru WRX STI S209, I believe, is the vehicle that's going to be revealed later here in probably in a few minutes. Let's see if we can squeeze by here. All right, we're going to squeeze by and go see. At some point here, we're going to end up at the Ford Shelby GT500 Mustang, which is the most powerful Mustang ever. And that's the kind of muscle car and power that horsepower we're used to seeing at the Detroit Auto Show. Here we're coming into the Acura exhibit and the Honda exhibit. Let's look at this here. This NSX GT3 Acura Precision Crafted Performance. This looks like something that people will be able to enjoy during the public days of the show. Kind of neat little ride of sorts there to give you a sense for what it's like to experience the exhilaration of Acura, according to the sign. Over at Honda, no new reveals from Honda this year at the Detroit Auto Show, but at the Los Angeles Auto Show in November, they revealed the Passport SUV. That's actually a vehicle they used to make, the Passport, so that's coming back, and that'll be hitting the dealerships this year. But as we approach the Ford exhibit, we're going to go through Chevrolet. So we got the rivals, Ford and Chevrolet, here next to each other. And we're actually expecting big news from Ford at the Detroit Auto Show tomorrow, where Ford and Volkswagen are expected to announce some sort of alliance, some sort of partnership. We don't know all the details of what it's going to entail, but we know that Ford and Volkswagen are in discussions to collaborate and to potentially even make some vehicles together. So that would be very interesting. Ford certainly needs it. Now, this is pretty cool exhibit there with the Chevrolet Silverado. Let's just go check that out for a second. The Chevy Silverado is the most popular vehicle that General Motors makes. It is second most popular vehicle in America. And we have a cool insight here into the Silverado's future. This is, let's see, this is the Chevy High Country. This is the High Country version of the Silverado. I believe we had some Subaru questions a moment ago, and our producer Eli, if he could resurface that for us, that would be great, because we'd love to answer your questions on Subaru with the press conference there about to begin. But this is the Chevy Silverado, and that's a full-size pickup truck. And GM also offers a mid-size pickup truck, the Chevy Colorado and the GMC Canyon. They have another full-size pickup, which is the GMC Sierra. So they have plenty of pickups. And that's, of course, the Silverado is a competitor with the Ram as well, and the Ford F-Series. Now, the question on Subaru was, what's new with the S209? Well, Subaru is redesigning and bringing back an S209 to the U.S. market, and that's going to debut within minutes at the Detroit Auto Show. So check out our coverage soon on that at USA Today. You should be able to see area photos and see that. And unfortunately, we haven't seen the S209 ourselves yet, so we'll hopefully see that soon. But here we are at the Ford exhibit, about to exit the Chevrolet exhibit. Believe it or not, this is still the Silverado. That's actually the Z71. So that's an off-road version of the Chevy Silverado. But we got to see the Shelby GT 500. And before we get to that, I believe this might be the Ford GT here, which stole the show a year or two ago. A Supra car is what they call this. And I believe that is the GT, although that looks like maybe a racing version. I'm not sure. But that is a pretty show-stopping vehicle right there. But the price tag, unfortunately, you got to make more than you make as a reporter for a newspaper to make money on that. Here at the Detroit Auto Show. This is the North American International Auto Show, the biggest auto show in America, at least as measured by attention, media attention, here at the Cobo Center in downtown Detroit. This is the Ford GT. That's a supercar that stole a show a year or two ago. You can really see this one is fit for the track. And it looks like there's a Ford race car driver. Okay, how did the Corvette C8 get unveiled? The 8th generation Corvette has not made its debut yet. There were rumors that it could happen here at the Detroit Auto Show, but that has not occurred. So stay tuned to see when the new Corvette will be revealed. The Stingray, which hit a couple years ago, has been a big hit. So the Corvette Stingray kind of reestablished the Ford GT supercar, fit for the track, and this is quite the limited edition vehicle. So let's see if we can find the Ford Shelby GT 500. I know it is at the stand here somewhere. We just have to hunt it down. So we're going to walk around here and find that. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them our way. We're here at the Detroit Auto Show, the floor of Cobo Center, the final Detroit Auto Show in January before the show moves to June in 2020. Well, I see you can see the bottom of a Mustang GT Premium convertible here. This says the high-revving 5.0-liter V8 features a dual injection system that combines low-pressure port fuel injection and high-pressure direct injection to deliver 460 horsepower. So that is a premium convertible version of the Mustang GT. Well, I think we found the GT 500. It is above us. And that is fitting because at the auto show press conference today, Ford dropped it from the ceiling in controlled fashion, thankfully, for all the journalists who were there to see it. But the Ford Mustang Shelby GT 500 debuted here at the Detroit Auto Show today. This is the most powerful Mustang ever. In fact, I believe it's the most powerful street-legal Ford ever. We just saw the Ford GT. That might be a little bit faster, but I don't think you can drive that one on the road. So you got here the GT 500. This is going to be a hit with enthusiasts, and I know that fans are already thrilled to see it debut here at the Detroit Auto Show. And it looks like we can't get too close to it, but we can look at it in awe from above. So it is pretty cool to see that here, because horsepower is kind of what you expect to see at the Detroit Auto Show. And here, let's also see real quick the Ford Raptor, Ford F-150. This is, of course, the most popular vehicle in America. The F-150 is part of the F-Series, which is the most popular model, and the Raptor is a version of that. It's a very popular model. This is the 2019 F-150 Raptor Super Crew. And I believe pricing is not available, but let's just say this is going to cost you a pretty penny. In fact, many pickups now cost more than $50,000. I think we should probably head over after this to the Jeep and actually finish there. I know I said we'd finish at the Ford stand. But we're going to give you a little bonus and check out the Jeep Gladiator, which debuted at the Los Angeles Auto Show in November. And we got to find the Gladiator because, to be frank, when I was at the LA Auto Show in November, the Jeep Gladiator was the showstopper. And I think pretty stunning to see it. In fact, here it is over here, this orange Gladiator Rubicon. But before that, let's hit the base model of the Jeep Gladiator, which is a mid-size pickup truck. Now, this is essentially a Jeep Wrangler turned into a pickup. And you can absolutely tell that the Jeep Gladiator is a version of the Wrangler. I have to say that this was a cool reveal to watch at the Los Angeles Auto Show 2 months ago. The Gladiator basically rolled over some rocks and some wood and rolled onto the stage to quite the raucous crowd. Here's the interior of the Jeep Gladiator, which debuted in November. Now, this is going to go on sale later this year, so this is actually coming very, very soon. And this is no concept. This is the real deal. This is the 2020 Jeep Gladiator, and it says best-in-class towing at 7,650 pounds and a payload of the same amount. But let's also finish up by looking at the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, and you can tell you can fit quite the payload there in the pickup bed. We can't go all the way up to this one. This one's surrounded by glass, but you can see that vehicle is fit for some off-roading, and that's what they expect people to do with the Jeep Gladiator. So this has been great that you could join us here at the Detroit Auto Show. I'm Nathan Bomey for USA Today. Please check out the usatoday.com for more coverage of the North American International Auto Show from the floor of Cobo Center. You can also check out coverage on the USA Today mobile app. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will hope to see you soon.